uh, in a relaxed neighborhood now, so I can sit outside.
we, we are live, everybody. Come on in, come on in. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Yay! Ah, we're only 4 minutes late tonight. Sorry, y'all. we're getting better. Next week we're gonna be on time. How about that? How about
I don't know. Don't promise them people that.
Yes, we are. We're gonna be on time next week. We're gonna be on time.
I'll be right back. Don't kick me out.
You in trouble. She in trouble. See, she should have left me with the man. What is wrong with her? Oh my god. Oh, I have you all to myself.
Yes, she do. Yes.
Oh, come on in, everybody. Oh, hey, Thunder. Hey, girl. Hey. She said, handsome face.
I had to go make sure people could see it on my page, you know.
Hey, Lady V. Hey.
Hey, Lady V. Hey, Thunder Kid.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you ain't sleep yet, Thunder. I'm be in bed early.
Everybody come on in. Yeah. Oh.
Hey, Robert.
Robert, we got Barbados in the house. The Passion Poet is here. And there he is. The man. The myth.
Hi, Lorenzo.
The mystery.
All my favorite men in one place today. I love it. I love Mondays.
We just waiting on what, Moses and a couple more.
Moses is at work, so he might not pop on. He might get a chance to.
Well, we'll see. Hey, Lady V, I will see you in what? A week and a half, I guess. It's coming up.
Oh, New Jersey's in a week and a half?
No.
Oh.
I'm headed to Hot Atlanta.
You going for the wedding?
I'm going for the wedding. Yes, I am. I'm excited.
I want to see all the pictures.
Next week. Hey, you know what? We got to give a shout out to all. There was a lot yesterday. A lot of anniversaries of my friends. So I want to give a shout out to Janine and her husband. I want to give a shout out to Tia and her husband, and of course our erotic sister Miss Shireen and her husband. Happy anniversary, y'all! Y'all was anniversarying down yesterday. Okay.
One day I'm gonna get there. One day.
It's overrated. No, just kidding.
Shireen was at my open mic last night.
Was she?
Yeah, they came to celebrate. They came to celebrate at my showcase last night. Gave some drinks. We was definitely out there having a good time.
Cool.
I live in the wrong city. Let me just go ahead and move back to Chicago. Ain't shit to do anyway.
Yeah, come on back. We could definitely use your energy here.
It is so. I think when am I going to be back there? I don't know. I can't seem to get an invite from some of our guests on the show right now. But you know what? That's okay. That's okay.
I don't think he heard you. I don't think he even caught that. Why he got that face though?
Look at his face. Passion says, you know what? I wanted to thank EE for getting me back on the stage. I got called to perform June 14th here.
Woo!
Nice. Congrats.
Yay!
Congratulations.
Yay! Yes.
I will say this. The male poets, the three of them showed out so much. And the young lady that showed out at EEE, I done started writing again. So we gonna figure this out and get it together. I'm gonna get some coaching from my friend here on the screen. Have him read some of my stuff.
All you just do is let me know. We can get this thing started.
Yeah, because y'all got my juices, my brain going again.
Okay. All right. Well, with that said, why don't we go ahead and get started for the evening? Because
Yep.
guess who has to make an early airport run in the morning? Hello,
Mm.
2:35 a.m. I
And
got.
I swear I'm only drinking water tonight, y'all.
Yep, that's all this is. It's only water, y'all. Hey, Nathan. Hey. So we are excited tonight. Myself, we want to let me start at the beginning. Let me welcome everyone to another marvelous Monday on Juicy Tales Erotic Chat. I am your hostess, Ms. JewCee. And of course, I could not do this show without my melanated queens. However, we do have one that is on hiatus for right now. And once again, we are still asking everyone to please send up your prayers, your well wishes for Siren and her family as her husband is battling some aneurysms. He still has another surgery to go. He's come through the first one with flying colors. We have another one to go to get 2 more of them. So please keep Siren and her family in your prayers. We really, really do appreciate it. And if you would like to make a donation to her, you can hit us up right down here at the bottom. You can see it. It's scrolling across. Support for Juicy Tales Erotic Chat. You can cash out Miss JewCee and I will forward it on to her if you would like to help. This has definitely been a financial burden on the family because this was very, very unexpected. Very unexpected. So once again, guys, please keep Siren and her family in your prayers. That's what we ask. And our other beautiful melanated queen is right here. We have Miss Purple Rain in the house and below, filling in tonight and joining us as our special guest this evening. Man, did he throw down at EEE? Okay, did he throw down at EEE? We have, oh my gosh, one of my good friends and one of the nastiest erotic poets out there. Nasty in a good way. Nasty in a good way.
Way to clean that up. Way to clean it up.
Let me fix that. We have Mr. Hood Rays in the house. So yay!
Yay!
Thank you.
So, how are you, sir?
I am maintaining. To be honest, I had a lot going on in this last month or so. Um, Blessings, a lot of things that's positive. It's just enduring a lot. I have officially 3 graduates this year. 3, and from 3 different levels. My oldest just got a master's degree. Then my son last week just graduated from high school, and then my baby girl graduates from 8th grade Monday. So like I've been in full daddy mode and working like
Yeah.
a Hebrew. Yeah.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is proud Papa right here. Proud
Yes.
Papa.
That was me last year. I swear. I'm glad they got 7 years between them because ain't neither one of them graduating at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was tired.
I'm done.
Oh, I'm done. As soon as this other one gets done, he got 8th grade and high school, and then I'm done.
You're not done, honey. You're not done. I'm done. Mine's in her 40s. I'm done.
Oh. Well,
Okay?
yeah.
Yeah, you done.
You done,
Right.
done.
I get it. Yeah.
I'm done. Exactly. Exactly. So just saying. Woo! Okay, I've been to purgatory and back. Yay!
Not that she called it purgatory.
Purgatory, right. I caught that. Like, wow, okay. Purgatory.
Hey, Twink.
Hi, Audrey. Welcome. So, everybody, we're gonna have a great convo tonight. It's gonna be
deep.
It's gonna be deep. It's gonna be deep. But you know what? That's what we're here for. We're here for all of it. We're here for all of it. So tonight, Miss Purple Rain is going to take the lead. I'm gonna take notes. I'm gonna be in the conversation. So I'm gonna let you introduce the segment, and I'm gonna shut up.
Okay, so amidst all of the stuff going on in pop culture, with some of our favorite artists being called different levels of not good things,
Mm-hmm.
from R. Kelly to recently Drake was placed in that category, to the cases with Diddy, to people bringing up in pop culture um, different relationships, celebrity relationships we've known from our childhood. I'm 40, but that stuff was during my childhood, my teenage years. It has called into question some things about some things that happen in Black culture. It happens in all cultures, but in Black culture, we tend to overlook it. Um, and on this podcast, I have before talked about female grooming and molestation of young girls, mentally and physically, but we never talk about our boys, our young Black boys. So I wanted to bring the conversation to the forefront because a lot of times we overlook our boys and we make it a passage to their manhood.
Mm.
I know a lot of Black men that at 13, 14, 15, they were told attaboy because they slept with or got hit on by an older woman. Whereas when it happens to our women, our daughters, now a lot of times with our daughters, we say they was being fast. But either way it goes, there always seems to be the wrong conversation when it comes to our young boys and our young women, but especially our young boys, because we make it seem like that's their right or their passage to becoming a man.
Mm.
And we forget that it's still grooming and that it's still molestation. One of the things that brought it to my attention amidst all of the things with Diddy, a conversation was brought up on social media about an R&B singer that was signed to Death Row named Danny Boy.
Mm-hmm.
He had done a bunch of interviews in the last 2 years, and he had made it known that he dated Mary J. Blige. He was 15. She was 24. How was that a relationship? And we just kind of overlook that age gap because he was a male child. He was a male and she was a woman. There was a teacher, I don't know where she lives, and I want to say it's Georgia, but she was a cheerleading coach and she was TikTok famous because of her cheer squad. She just recently went to jail for having a relationship with one of her 15-year-old male students. Again, whenever it's men that do it, we're ready to bite those men heads off or call those girls fast and say they knew better. They knew what they were doing. But when it's an older woman with a young man, it's, oh, he's a man. He's supposed to do that. That's a good job. And not realizing that at certain times, it can probably mess with their mental. I mean, Tyler Perry has spoke on it. And how it affected him both mentally and physically, and more mentally because of how he stayed away from relationships for a long time because of the things that were done to him by female friends of his family or female family members. And even when he was telling his truth, people would be like, "Oh, suck it up. You was a boy. That was supposed to happen to you." So what do you guys think about that?
Well, allow me, um, as a survivor of this very topic, and I use the word survivor like with pride, as an overcomer of it. The very scenario you just laid out described my preteens. I was 12 years old, and I had a full sexual relationship with a 27-year-old woman who was who's actually my little cousin's mother. And those very things happened. It was I went to my mom, told my mom about it because I felt like it was inappropriate in some manner. My mom didn't believe me, so first my next order of business is to go to the surrounding males in my family or in my particular village, and everybody encouraged it. Um, I didn't realize that I was being raped or sexually assaulted until I was an adult and I was a father. It happened for the full. I want to say it happened for the full summer from when I was 12, going into 13. And the only reason it stopped is because uh, she got busted in the act one time by my cousin who she was actually engaged to. And by that time, the act itself had occurred probably 30, 40 times. So it isn't at this point it's routine for me. Um,
Mhm.
and I can say that it affected my mind to the point where, oh, excuse me, it's crazy over here. um,
Choo-choo. Here's the
um, I can say it affected my mental uh, to the point where, for the longest, by default, I separated love from lust, um, relationship from somebody I was just physically involved with. Um, and the idea, because as even though I had prominent male figures in my life, my father, my uncles, my big cousins were always around. We never spoke a thing. We were actually encouraged to
Mhm.
pursue sex in any shape, form, or fashion from the moment we hit puberty. You know what I mean? You turn in 12, we were trained to be sexual people. Um,
Mhm.
and the idea of being sexually misled, taught some of the wrong mannerisms, the wrong actions, to be involved in an inappropriate relationship, that wasn't taught. That's something I learned as well. Again, I was 19, about to become a father. That's when I the instincts like, hey, if anybody ever touched my seed, the things I do to them, I was like, well, that was happening to me.
Mhm.
I didn't know that it was a bad thing. And I feel like the village, the men, and as well as the ladies, the queens themselves, have to step up. We have to have these conversations. They're uncomfortable, they can be tough, but we have to have them. The conversations are necessary because we learn from it, it's a learned behavior.
Um, First, I want to say on behalf of women, I would like to say I apologize to you for what
Right.
happened, because I think it's very important that we all, as women, take ownership, and understand that there are women that are predators and they exist, ladies and gentlemen. I worked in criminal probation in Indianapolis, Indiana. I issued warrants. It's not just men, folks. It's not just men. There are women. We don't want to think about women molesting our boys or girls. We don't talk about it. It is a taboo topic. When I was a PSO, and for those of you that don't know what that is, as a phone sex operator, I got a lot of men that have had sex or been raped as young boys by their babysitters, by their moms, by their aunties, by their mom's friends,
Mhm.
and they develop these traits that are not positive in any way, shape, form, or fashion. about women. They can turn into rapists. They can turn into homicidal maniacs. They can turn into a lot of different things because they harbor this guilt. They harbor these feelings. They harbor knowing that it's wrong and there's nowhere to turn to, no one to talk to, nobody to tell. And they have a very helpless feeling. And it's really crazy because on the one PSO site, and there's a couple of them that I know of, when you're on those sites, we cannot, as phone sex operators, play the role of your mother. And the men, and if it's a male that's talking to a female, he cannot play the role of your father. But you would be surprised how many folks call in, and that's exactly
what they want.
And the guys will slip in mom, or they'll slip in the word, and you have to try to deter them. You're trying to make your money, but you got to try to deter them some kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. But I've talked to a lot of men that are just basically, unfortunately, mentally and psychologically haven't gotten the help that they need, haven't really told anyone, and they're adults, into adulting and into, having children of their own, and they still go back and have this fantasy. They can still live out this fantasy or still live out this upbringing via phone sex operators. They still in some way crave it, or some way don't know how to get rid of the stigma.
But not even, well, that's a big one with what I've seen and how some people are traumatized. But another that I've seen, especially in Black men, is the okaying of it all. So this was supposed to happen to me. It's what made me a man. So this is what I'm going to do to my child. Like when Boosie, when everybody tried to cancel him because he said he was going to go get his 13-year-old son a prostitute. I know a lot of men that think like that. Like I've had a guy tell me one time, if we're in a serious relationship and by a certain age your son hasn't, been with a woman, I'm gonna go get him somebody experienced to teach him. No, you're not. He's a man. He's supposed to. No, he's not. He's supposed to do it when he's ready, when he's got feelings or whatever, however he wants to do it. Just like we tell our girls to be ready, our boys need to be mentally and emotionally ready for that too, because it affects them in the same way that it affects us.
True.
And this is not a conversation that we have.
It's not.
It's not just in our community. It's across the board. We do not talk about the women that are molesting the boys, whether it's your school teachers, whether it's people in the church, whether it happens, folks. It happens. It happens just as much as when men are molesting girls. But you ever notice how the media isn't going to talk about women like that?
Yep.
They're not going to talk about women like that. They're not.
I mean, that's just like how they talk about deadbeat fathers, but won't talk about deadbeat mothers. They don't put women
in
that negative light. It's always the men.
And they won't talk about the women that are soldiers that have been killed. They won't tell you how many. You'll hear about the soldiers being killed, and a lot of times they'll talk about the men being killed, but you're not going to hear them. Very rarely will you hear them talk about a woman that was killed.
Saving somebody else's life.
So it's our media as well. It's our internal and it's external.
It's a culture thing that I think that has to be broken.
Definitely. It starts with, like, I am part of movement that's been going on for 13 years called Say So. It's Sexual Assault Speak Out. We do it every year for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And we get together bring resources, a collection of survivors and artists who speak about their experiences. Um, I have a poem that's been published in books, that's been aired on TV, and it's called "She Took It." It's detailing my experience when I was 12. And it got a lot of recognition because I'm one of the few men who speaks on the topic. Like in those groups, in those meetings, we hear a lot of those stories. We hear a lot of well, my it was my uncle, or it was my daddy's friend, or it was my what else. But me coming in and say, well, it wasn't a man who did anything inappropriate to me. I learned my sexual I learned my experiences from a woman, and women do this too. And it's that hashtag me too, and I'll say, well, men too. It happens to us too.
Mhm.
And that it's rejected by the masses, I can say, because it seems to be taboo in a lot of conversations for a woman to even be capable of doing such things. But there's so many experiences that I can detail, that I can, from the guys that I've been around, from the people that I've been around. I even actually at my open mic last night, there was a woman who was telling her story about how a woman did this to her. She was 15, involved in a relationship with a 36-year-old woman. Like these, I mean, these things happen regularly. It's just not as, I guess it doesn't grab as much attention as
Men harming little
the
girls.
common, yeah, the common scenarios of a man doing something inappropriate with a young lady.
Or even a man doing something with a young man. Those
Damn, yeah.
stories tend to get more attention than women doing anything.
Mm,
Well,
yes.
every now and then we get our token one or two, and they're usually teachers. Is
Yeah,
what we hear
because she
about.
got pregnant.
We hear about a lot of teachers out here that are having sex with these young boys uh, in the gym or in the back of the car or something like that.
Yep.
You
The-
hear that more than, I think we hear that a little bit more than anything else. But I mean, it's not like it's not like it doesn't happen. That's the thing, and it's hard. I mean, it's not just little boys that aren't believed, because believe me, when little girls go and try to tell in our community, when we tell them to tell it, little girls aren't believed either, that Uncle William was doing da 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 to me. They
Hmm.
oh, he would never do that, he would da da da, you making it up. There is no kind of belief or trust system. So, and I'm sure probably even within your own story, uh did you feel that at some particular point in time you just stopped telling?
Yes. That's exactly like um I am going to, I mean, off chat or whenever, I'm going to send this poem to you because I spoke it on channel 26. I'm going to send it to you, but I tell that exact story. What happened was, it happened the first two times. I was totally uncomfortable with it. Um, and so I went to my mom. My mom told me that she didn't believe me. Uh, I went to another another family member, and he didn't believe me. But then when I went to my peers, my cousins that's a couple years older than me, and my friends, everybody was just like, well, what you complaining for? Like, this is what it's all about. You supposed to do this. I wish it was me. It became a rite of passage. It
Right.
became hey, you the man. I was encouraged to do it. So I took on the identity like, hey, I guess this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Uh, and I didn't trust talking to any of my quote unquote elders.
Protector.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I didn't trust them at all.
Right. And you lose that. You lose. And I mean, I was molested by my brother. and I was molested by a neighbor. Um, I didn't dare tell my parents because my brother was the prodigal son.
Mm.
You know, I was just cute. That's it. No one in my family expected me to do anything. They didn't. As a matter of fact, after my parents died, they didn't even expect me to graduate high school because she's cute. I could twirl a baton, I could dance, but this, mm-mm. No, no. That you know, she's just cute. So how do
Mm.
you figure out in your mind? You start to believe what you hear, what you see, what you
Mhm.
that you respect keep saying to you. You start to believe it. You start to uh, live the lie, so to speak.
Mm.
Go along with it, so that everything is, you know, like this.
Copacetic.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to. What do you say? What do you do?
You create a safe space within that trauma. It's unfortunate.
Yep.
It's
You do.
it, it,
You definitely do. I mean, I have my experience too, and I don't talk a whole lot on it because I'm still not believed to this day. Um, and but it has garnered the way that I raise my children and how I guard them from certain people, certain experiences. Um, yeah, a lot of things my kids get to experience, and they're latchkey kids, and they pretty much have their freedoms. But there's a lot of things. My house is the house that all the friends come to for that very reason. I don't let my kids go spend the night nowhere.
mm,
I'm the fun parent. We gonna hang out at my kids' house. My kids are like, no, mom, they can come over here. I'm Mamas is calling me talking about, you sure it's okay? They can come over here. No, they can come over here.
mm,
A
mm,
lot
I'm
of it
that mom.
also, a lot of it also is, I think it's fear that a family. It's a lot easier to brush shit under the under the rug. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier to do that than it is to actually face the evil. It's
Hmm.
it's a lot
yeah.
easier to go, oh yeah, no, you're mistaken. Could you have misunderstood? Could you have misread? Could you have could you have
And I get it. Nobody wants to believe bad things about people in their family, but it only takes 2 seconds to pay attention to your child's actions.
Hmm.
Two
Agreed.
seconds. Especially if you know your children, when something's off.
now I haven't shared this, but I'm going to share this tonight because I think it's appropriate. So, a lot of you know that my daughter and I were very, very close, and we are not speaking to each other, haven't spoke to each other really in about 2 years. Um, my daughter revealed to me that she had been molested, and I was in shock because my daughter sometimes is very moody. She does not come to me to talk to me. She will talk to everybody else, but she doesn't talk to me. And so by the time she gets ready to talk to me, everything is kind of bottled up and it just kind of explodes. It just kind of goes haywire. So when all of this came to light, I asked her, "What do you want me to do?" Because this has been a long time. And it wasn't that I didn't believe her, because I did. But I needed to know what you want me to do. What is the next step? What do we have a family discussion? Do we do this? I wanted to do whatever it is I could to help my daughter. Okay. Well, evidently that wasn't enough, because every time I asked her, "Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that?" She told me no. She told me no. She told me no. Come find out, the reason why she got real upset with me and didn't want to talk to me is because I'm still talking to the person that supposedly did the things, but I don't know what the things were. I don't know when it happened. I know they were children. That's really all that's all I can assess. I did speak to the person, and we had words, and I put my hands on that person, because I'm a mama, and
Right.
I'm a mama. I love that person as well, but I'm still a mama. She comes first, and you did wrong. Um, but my daughter doesn't know I did all that. She has no clue. Um, but and since she cut off communication, because I guess she feels like all of a sudden I found out I was the worst mother ever. Mind you, she's 40, she lived. That's how I look at it. You know, you didn't die, it didn't kill you. And I simply did not know.
And you not knowing is I don't. Communication is key. I,
Yes.
I mean, that's it's vital in everything. We have to be able to openly discuss these things. Like, in my scenario, I told my mom and she didn't believe me. Well, if she never spoke to you about it, then we're left to just assume. We could be like, she's moody for this reason. It could be a little bit of anything, or she's feeling this way about something. We can be all the way off in our assessment. We can know something is wrong, but we be assuming it's the wrong thing.
And I can't put
Uh,
my finger on it, and you won't talk to me.
right, right.
And I've always told my daughter, even if you can't talk to me, talk to somebody. Whatever it is you need to do, talk to somebody. If you can't talk to me, you need to go talk to somebody. And so I guess some of this came up in therapy with, she's military, former military, and I guess all this came up. So once again, I'm the last to know. It's not like I didn't believe her, because I did. And when I asked her, what do you want me to do? I said, we can do this. We could have a family meeting. We could do counseling. She didn't want to do any of that. She didn't want to do anything that I suggested. And then slowly but surely, I guess it festered, because what she wanted me to do, she did not voice and say to me, but I was supposed to cut this other person totally off out of my life. And you didn't express that to me, so I didn't cut that person off. And I still haven't to this day. We have talked. The issue is not me. The issue is between the two of you. You need to come to the realization it doesn't have anything to do with me. As much as I will take the blame. I got broad shoulders. I will take the blame. I will hold on to it. I will take it. I'm not going to bother you about it. I'm not going to bitch, moan, and complain. But it at the end of the day, it is not my burden to carry. I'm here to support you in any way that I can. If we need counseling, do you need this? Do you need that? What do you need? But if you can't open your mouth, and that's a lot of people in the same position, if you want help, you got to talk about it.
Absolutely.
I know it hurts. I know it's hard, but you gotta talk about it. Nobody is the amazing Chris Kreskin. That's back in my day, or Miss Cleo, if y'all know who she.
Miss Cleo ain't even Miss Cleo.
Right. Miss Cleo. Oh,
call me now.
Right. Make sure you call.
Wow.
$1.99 a minute. But nobody is clairvoyant like that. We're not gonna. You gotta open your mouth. You gotta say something. Don't think that people are just gonna know. Like what Hood Race just said. My daughter's moody, honey. She always been moody. It could be the rain. It could be It could be sunshiny. It could be a beautiful day outside. She's in mood. And then the next day she's happy go lucky. So.
I love my daughter, but she moody too.
There you go. Amen.
And but I've established this communication with my children. My daughter's friends are all like, "Your mama just be openly talking to you about stuff." Yeah, because I need her to know that she could talk to me.
Yes.
You and your
Love
mama
that.
talk about sex like y'all having a regular conversation, because it is a regular conversation in my house.
Mm.
And
It's
we
a
talk.
regular conversation. My daughter is 19 and engaged. When she's got questions about that part of her life, I need her to be comfortable enough to talk to me because she's now a woman. Yes, you're my daughter, but you're now a woman.
Right.
And I'd rather you come and talk to me and tell me if something happens so I can help you rectify or fix the situation. I can't fix it if you don't talk.
If you don't talk, exactly. And
I
the other,
think one of the reasons, like, people tell me all the time I'm crazy, but I think one of the reasons why my daughter is 19 and has not gotten pregnant, whereas 3 to 4 or 5 of her closest friends all have children, is because we have that conversation.
Yeah.
She knew to use protection, and she knew to ask me for birth control. She knew that she was allergic to latex because we have those conversations.
and
She knew what
parents,
to use, how to use.
parents, you've got to do this. Parents, you've got to
Yes.
talk
And I'm gonna have those
through.
same conversations with my son, because me and my daughter have some of this. We both have a latex allergy. My son might have that same allergy. I can't sugarcoat that shit. Those are conversations that have to be had because I now have a 13-year-old.
Mm.
It's important, and and stop relying on health education class, because health education classes should get an F, because
We
they are
say that all
they
the
are
time.
they horrible. They aren't
They the
teaching.
reasons our girls are pregnant all the time.
Right, they're teaching you exactly how to get pregnant. Insert here, okay? That Hey, and there you have it. It's not teaching you about oh yeah. By the way, you might want to put a condom on. I mean, come on. That's about how health education is. We all know it ain't changed in all the years that
Real health education starts at home. It
right.
starts at the house.
It
It starts with the
does.
Yes,
understanding your mind and your body, and that's taught by
yes,
your parents and your original the people who raised you. Because it ain't your
Yeah.
parents ain't always the people who raised you. That's where health education starts. It starts there. Yeah.
And and that's exactly why I am the way I am with my kids. My kids be acting embarrassed and don't be wanting to talk about it. And my son be blushing because he's 13. He's still a kid. But there are kids in his class talking about relationships and talking about sex. Like, so I have those conversations with him because I don't want to be a grandma and he's 15.
Get it?
right.
I'm 40. I have friends that when I was in my 30s, we were 35, 36, they were becoming grandmothers. Because even
Mm.
though they had kids at a young age, they still treated their children the way their parents treated them and did not have those conversations.
Right.
How, as a teen mother or father, don't you have that same conversation with your child to keep them, to make it so that they break that cycle?
Because a lot of them, you have to understand. I can answer that. Pick me, because they don't know how to have the conversation because they never had the conversation.
And I get that.
They
I
don't.
never had the conversation, but I figured that shit out real quick
But
because I was not.
but that's
I was
you. That's
determined to
you.
break the cycle.
But you have to understand, there's a lot of people that are not. They are not. Let me tell you what is teaching their children: cell phones, the internet. Yay!
Yeah.
That is now
Yep.
the babysitter. That is now the educational component. That is now where they're learning how to have a relationship. And we got these girls out here thinking, first of all, they can't rub 2 dimes and a nickel together to make a solid quarter, but they want a six-figure man. We got girls running around here that don't even understand wash your ass before you go out the house in your pajamas, your slippers, and your hair bonnet that you done wore all night long and done freaking it's just ridiculous. We're
Well, the
not
other part,
teaching. We're not being
we're
parents.
not teaching. We're not teaching. You're right. But part of that problem also is, and yes, 13, 14, 15, under 18 is a minor. It is a
Mm-hmm.
child. But at a certain point, we have to remember our history and our past, and remember that girls were get their cycle at 12 and 13. 100, 200 years ago, they were getting married as soon as they got a cycle.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So they can still get pregnant. So when those things occur, yes, you need to have age appropriate conversations with your children, but you still need to have the conversation. People want to coddle their children because they're minors, and we have this space where, oh, they not grown, but then they turn 18 and you've never had the conversation, and then shit happens, and then you want to get mad at your kids.
But it's not even so much. It's not even so much coddling. It is. I mean, from the perspective of, I have done this for, I'm going on 37 years. I've sold adult
Mm-hmm.
toys, novelties, and lingerie. It has nothing to do with coddling. What it has to do with is fear. It's a lack of knowledge. And it's a learned behavior.
Yeah, you're
It is
absolutely right.
learned behavior. And in order to break the cycle, you have to understand that you're doing something wrong. They don't see it as doing something wrong because why? It's a learned behavior. It's generation after generation after generation after generation. And they're not going to have the conversations. They expect people like myself or like you to have that conversation with their children because they don't want to be responsible.
Right. But it's they've established a comfort in the unknown.
Exactly.
Like despite the fact that we've all walked some of these same paths, we it's not we're not conditioned to pay it forward, even though we should, especially with our own children. Like it should be like I'm the type of father I am because of the type of father that I had. But I had an amazing father, but when it came to conversations like like sex and things like that, again, I told you they didn't even believe me when I told them about what was happening with me. So, and I think it's because he was never taught that. Like I mean, my father became a father. My oldest sister, he had my oldest sister when he was 16. So like it wasn't like it was frowned upon. It was again, it was a rite of passage. Oh, had a baby early. Mom, he was 16. My mom was 16 when they had my sister. So like things are we're not taught to do better. But
Mhm.
where does it begin? It begins with us breaking the cycle. It starts with now. The minute you see that something is not right, you have to be comfortable enough to have that uncomfortable conversation.
Right. Right. And a lot of people won't do it.
Hmm.
They're not gonna attempt. They will send. And I'll give you guys a scenario that happened for real. When I was in Indianapolis, I used to work for the Parks and Recreation Department there, my first 3 years there in the city. And I had a group called Sisters with Pride. It was a girls' club. And because of my background with my health education background, I we had permission slips and everything by the parents, and I was going to talk to the girls. We were going to be at my apartment for the weekend, and we were going to talk about different things. But one of the things that we were going to talk about was sex. Now I had to have the permission slips in order to talk about that. Honey, I had 20 girls in my apartment with permission for
Hmm.
me to talk to your children
Right.
about sex. Because guess what you're not going to do? You're not going to talk to them about sex. You're not going to talk to them about a relationship. You're not going to do it. And if you do, it's the short condensed version and it's not very in depth. But
Yep. It's filtered.
it's right. And then because you feel embarrassed. And
Yep.
until in this country we feel comfortable talking about sex, like myself and Purple Rain and you, we still going to have the same continued result because we are not willing to change. And that is the problem. The problem is that people are still hung up on some antiquated bullshit, and we still are not talking to our young people, and we're still not even comfortable even as adults. Let's just be honest. You guys were in the room, you were at EEE, you could see some of the faces, and when we started to do stuff, you see them like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that or not. Should I do
Yeah.
that? Should I? Oh my gosh,
They were
this,
shot in a motherfucker.
you know, how much liquor do we got to give you? Okay, loosen up, damn it.
I don't think anybody touched any of them games because it was like they were scared.
They were scared of the
But
Jenga.
I walked in and started playing. Actually, that was I touched everything on every table.
I'm like, nobody
You're a
played
different type of person, though, hun.
you nasty.
You're bold.
I am proudly.
But a lot, but like a lot of folks, just still, we don't want to have this conversation, and therefore, when our children do come to us and they do tell us that they've been touched, once again, we trying to run away from the sexual conversation. We trying to go the other
Yeah.
direction. Oh, that couldn't have possibly happened. No, you misunderstood. No, that's not what that means. But you've taught your children good touch, bad touch. And then when they get a bad touch, you don't want to believe it.
Mm.
Make that make sense. Why? Because it was a relative. So if just wondering, if you had went and told your parents or your family it was a white woman that had touched you, or it was
Mm.
somebody that wasn't, I bet all hell would have broke loose.
Well, that's just like, and not to bring this back to women, but it reminds me of when little girls tell their moms, or teenage girls or whoever tell their moms that their boyfriend did it. Well, what was you doing? What was I
Yeah.
doing?
Right.
What did you have on? Why was you dressed like that?
Why are you trying to take my man? What?
Mm.
Take your ma'am. I'm 14. I don't want him. He's old. You being fast. Look at you. You always walking around. I think that was the one thing that I was proud of myself for doing, because I grew up in a house where you couldn't wear this and you couldn't wear that because men are in the house. I
Mhm.
desexualized that concept for my children because I didn't want either one of them to ever feel uncomfortable in their own home. Now they know boundaries, but I don't bring men in my house. One, I don't bring nobody in my house because this is my children's safe space. But even with each other, they don't see each other that way. That's his sister, that's her brother. You know what I'm saying? And they're comfortable in their own home and can live how they want to live.
So
Cuz never.
I wanted to touch on something that Robert wrote. I don't know if you guys got to see it, but he was and I'm really kind of curious to see if Hood Rays went kind of through the same thing maybe after all of this, because we do put a lot of pressure on men as a society, is a lot of pressure on men to know how to have sex with a woman. And yet still men might be a virgin, or he might not know as much, but there's a lot of pressure put, to me it appears that there's a lot of pressure on men to know how to please a woman.
It definitely is. It of For one, the proper functioning of our bodies, things like that. Like for men, it's not spoken on enough that it's still, even though we might be physically attracted to a person, we still have to be mentally in tune in order for it to properly happen. Like, I mean, erections might not happen, anything can happen. It's all, it's so much that happens mentally first before we even get to that point. And then we can get to the point where women can be can body shame, although they hate to be body shamed. And
I
then
hate
once
all of it. Don't
and
body
then,
shame me and I won't body shame you. Like, don't.
see, and again, like, I'll just say you're different. You know what I mean? Because you
Right.
already understand the concepts of what it is. I'm telling you, but normally, like, even with the at EEE. We had the conversations, and we were asked about our sizes. You know, some of us are prideful. Some of us feel what we feel. But what about a man who's not so prideful about that? You know what I mean? How was he's made to feel inadequate, but still expected to perform? Um, that
Mm-hmm.
and then for me, I can say what works for me. I have confidence in my abilities, but I also listen first before I ever engage. I kind of understand what it is she's expecting from me, and I indulge with what I believe she's been expressing to me. The communication part. If I know she wants to be touched in a particular manner, she's not fond of being rough housed. If she wants more sensual than sexual, these things are probably articulated to me, or I've picked up on it in our conversations before we got to that point. That's a mental thing. Um, Men, we have egos, so naturally we feel like we the man. We just gonna put it down, and it just does. And when you've had enough experience, you realize it just does not work that way. It
I
does not
wish
work that
we
way.
could normalize that just because somebody has experience doesn't mean that they've experienced you.
Exactly,
Everybody is
precisely my
different.
point.
Yes, I have sucked penis before, but that doesn't mean that if I suck yours, you're going to like the way I do it.
Mm,
I have to learn you as my partner.
exactly. Exactly. I mean, and that's again, that's usually what happens. I'm pretty sure we've all had those scenarios where that first time was awkward and we didn't know what we was feeling when it was done. Like, but then the second and third time got way better. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Because we had to walk it. We as men, we walk into it knowing, we're assuming we know, instead of listening first,
Right.
learning first, and
I
then
was going to say,
indulging.
I had to learn a long time ago that the first time you sleep with a man, he's more than likely going to come fast, and that is not a reflection of anything that you're new to him.
Mm,
Well, and that and the fact that there's once again we put all this pressure, and we've talked about this on the show, and I've talked about it a lot. We put all this pressure on men to know a woman's body and how she likes it and whatever, whatever, whatever. Yet and still the woman don't know what she likes, doesn't know what she wants. She don't even know her own body. She doesn't know that she can have an orgasm. She don't know what kind of orgasm she's having. She doesn't know that she can have multiple orgasms. She doesn't know anything about her body. She doesn't know what arouses her, what doesn't arouse her, but yet and still you put all this pressure on. We have been indoctrinated to believe that we should put all of this pressure on a man in order to please us. And yet and still a lot of women are not satisfied and they're not pleased at all. But they go along
mm,
with it because we've been what? Taught,
Indoctrinated.
taught
mm.
to do this.
And conditioned.
We're conditioned in a learned behavior.
Yep.
Because we don't want to, like you said, men have egos. Oh, we don't want to, we got to make sure we're
We don't want
stroking.
to bruise his ego.
We want to bruise his ego. We don't want that. We want to make sure everything is nice and calm, and meanwhile back at the ranch we're not satisfied. We don't even know what satisfaction is. He done humped and got up,
Mm,
you know like some scene from Color Purple, you know
Exactly.
Mine is canning peaches, step one. When I'm bored with you, I start thinking in my mind about canning peaches. First,
wow.
Canning peaches.
you plant the seed, then you cover it with dirt, then you water. I mean, I'm serious. If it is that bad, and I learned, I will start in my head either grocery shopping or canning peaches. Step one. And step one is to plant the seed. And then,
I'm done with you.
I'm serious. I've done it. I've done it.
Oh Lord.
I'm ignoring you, Juicy. Go to the corner.
Canning peaches.
Candy peaches. Lord Jesus Christ.
Step one. I'm over here canning peaches. It sucked. It was horrid. It was terrible. It was. But once again, back then, it was a learned behavior. Don't say anything. Just let him get done with his business and get up off of you. Get up off of me. After a while, I learned. I did. I taught myself. I learned. No, this you ain't hitting the spot. You're not even getting close. Hey, Mark.
Hey,
You're
Mark.
not nothing. You're not even in the ballpark. You. I had one guy talk about, you gonna call me? No. I just got right to the point. No, I'm not gonna call you to come back over here. No.
I can't front. I've faked an orgasm or two in my life. Like I faked like it was over
People
with. Like
forget that men
yeah.
can fake them too. People
Oh,
act like men can't
oh,
fake them
I've
too.
I've done it a time or 10. I can't front,
I
and
know tons of men that say they've done it.
mm, it, it I, it she probably realized it once she tried to call me and the number was blocked. Like yeah, that did not work at all.
No.
I'm gonna sip my water on that one.
Right.
Okay.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Keep yourself alive and get out. There you go. It's over. I'm out.
See, and I'm one of those women. If I feel like my man isn't satisfied, I'm asking questions to how I can fix it.
Jesus Christ, you. What's your ring size? What's
8.5.
I'm seeing. I'm pretty much the same way. I want to know. I definitely want to know.
I mean, I
Am
feel
I
like
doing it
I
right?
get insecure.
But you
I get
gotta ask
insecure.
questions though. At the end of the session, you really want to ask questions so that you can make sure that y'all on the same page of the playbook.
But
I mean, well,
that goes
part of
back to
that
the
though,
original
part of that.
conversation. That conversation about being able to discuss that the communicating what's expected up front. Like there are times where like I'm one of those. I am a giver. Like so, there are times where I will just want to taste you until you've reached your climax, and then you know what I mean? We can roll over, go to sleep after. You know what I mean? It depends. It's what's expected. If we already have open communication, then you ain't gonna have to ask questions. We're gonna talk about it anyway. I'm gonna express my pleasure or displeasure, and we're gonna get to the bottom of it. You know what I mean?
And
That we're
see,
gonna get on the same page.
men like you make me so insecure because I be like, but you don't want nothing back. What? And I get mad when I can't please my partner back. I get in my freaking feelings when men want to
Well,
please me and I can't do it back because I'm a giver. So
I'm a
when
giver, but I don't mind getting given too, and I can go to
I love getting given too, but let me reciprocate. God damn it!
let's cuddle. The only thing I can't stand is he like to put me in the wet spot, and I'm like, but you made the wet spot, and he's like, no, you made the wet spot. No, I was inspired to make the wet spot by you, so it's your wet spot. You get it. We be fighting about the wet spot, but then
So,
I
See,
go.
so
that's why I put
throw
a
me in the
towel
wet
down.
spot. It's cool. I'm asleep anyway. It's okay.
Then I'm
I'll
going to
be all
I
right.
sleep.
just put a towel down. I know there's gonna
Well,
be a
I
wet
mean,
spot. We're gonna put a towel underneath.
we got a couple of towels and puppy pads, but you all know, super soaker. Hello, and so. And I like to run. I'm a track star in my own bed sometimes. So,
Oh baby.
right. Well, I, yeah.
I'm
Anyway,
not. I
but
don't
see,
run.
and
I'm not a track star at all.
and the other problem with it is, I'm slightly handicapped, so you can hold me in one spot because of my little bag, and
I hate you, JewCee.
that's some BS right there. It's like that's some BS right there. Oh, sorry. Anyway.
We have gotten completely off topic.
I know we have.
This is how conversations go when you're enjoying yourself.
This is
That
what
is
happens on
true.
Juicy Tales Erotic Chat. This is what
I mean, one subject does tie into the other so
Right.
that it's not so dark all the time, but definitely. I mean, I don't know. I guess for me, and I think I became insecure about not being able to please back because I had a partner that could go hours,
happens.
Mm,
but he edged so much that he would not ever come. And we
mm.
would go 4 or 5 hours. I done came 90 million times
I'm
and he
dehydrated.
roll over and go to sleep,
And I'm
but ain't
dehydrated.
came once.
And I'm dehydrated.
Right. And so it made me feel like it was maybe I got bad pussy. Am I broken? Like, what the fuck? But it was because he always felt like he's like, I'll come when I want to come. I'm good at holding it. It's about you. Did you get yours? You got it multiple times? Okay. My job is done. We're going to bed.
See, I I guess the issue with that is, what about the other end? Because if he comes fast, do you complain? You know what I mean? So
No,
what's
because I can tell when they do that and I know how to make myself come. And as long as they're not insecure with me masturbating after the fact and they gonna watch me, then we good. Or you gonna eat my pussy afterwards. Like there's other things we can do to get me there if he comes fast. But at least if he comes, I know I did my job.
Somebody get Lorenzo. Lorenzo, go to the corner. You need to pay attention. Lorenzo wrote, running on wet spots in the bed while candy peaches. What did I miss?
Go to bed, Lorenzo.
Just going back to sleep, baby. Go on back. You can watch the video when it's over.
Jesus Christ?
He was not tuned in.
I can't with him. He's
Um,
killing me.
when I come back when I come back down there, my next my poem is gonna start off with that: running on wet spots, avoiding canning peaches. It's gonna be the opening line.
I can't wait to hear it. Oh, I'm gonna say inspired by Juicy Tales Erotic Chat.
Wait a minute, and then he talk about handicap sex. I'm done.
See, I,
Go to the
I
corner.
can't with him. Lorenzo, go to the corner.
Go to the
You
corner.
were doing good today, sir.
And then. Oh my God. Oh, I'm hurting. Oh, my eyes. Oh, I'm hurting. Can't stand him right now. So getting back on topic real quick, because it is just about time for us to end this tonight. And I'm happy we got to have a little bit of a laugh, because
Yeah.
the subject is very serious, ladies and gentlemen, that we did talk about this evening earlier in the podcast, because and we definitely want to thank Mr. Hoodrace for sharing his story with us, because
I appreciate you so much, sir.
there
thank
are
you for. I'm part of this family. I appreciate it. Yeah.
this is such we need to have you back, because this is such an important topic, and more men need to feel a safe space to come forward to discuss this topic. So you said that you had a group that you're with. What can you tell everyone about that group?
It's called Say So. It's an acronym for sexual assault speak out. So what we do is we're in affiliation with the Children's Advocacy Center here on west side of Chicago. Um, what we do is we provide a safe space for everybody to come talk about their sexual traumas, the traumas as a whole. It's not just sexually based, but it we focus mainly on the sexual assault element once sexual assault month comes around, which is April. Um, and we have
Okay.
group chats. We discuss resources for people who needs it. And what has me dedicated to it is because I'm one of the few men who's actively involved. It's affiliation. We have shows in Atlanta, in Chicago. We're formulating some in St. Louis as well. Um, and as a group, we if you need shelter, if you need advice, if you need just a ear, if you need to be removed um from your situation that's caused you the trauma, what we do is collectively get together, get the resources to make sure that you're comfortable and you're safe. It's the head of the program. My name is Wendy Jordan. Very powerful, very strong sister. I'm a huge fan of what she does, and she recruited me to be part of it because she heard my story 13 years ago.
Definitely. We definitely want to keep in touch with them. We'd love to help out in any way that we can. Love to have her on the show to talk about this organization, because it is so important and so needed in our community
Mhm.
and throughout the community. Because this is definitely a topic we don't talk about. And we got to stop it. The way to make this actually stop is to reach one, teach one, and to start to believe, even if some kids cry wolf. I get it. I
Yeah.
understand. I understand. But you still need to take the next step. You need to find out the truth. Don't just sweep it under the rug because it causes irreparable damage and to the child, to the family. And the most important thing should be the child. Um, Getting them out of the situation, getting them in a safe space. That should be the top priority, not how
Getting them the mental health.
and the physical health that they might need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about you. When your child comes to you, stop acting like it's about you, because that's what you're acting like, folks. It's about, oh well, you're offending me by saying. It's not about you. Get you out the damn way so that you can hear your children tell you what is going on.
Yes. Agreed.
Get you out the way. Move. What's that other one? Move, bitch. Get out the way. Get out the way. It's just you gotta stop. And we do it to ourselves, and a lot of times within our community, you all know we got to keep secrets.
What happens in this house stays in this house.
Yep. Don't tell anybody our business. Yep.
We got to stop that.
Don't be getting no people involved in our family business. We don't need them in our mess. You got them nosy folks. People calling people nosy because they care for the well-being of the child. No, you're not caring for the well-being of your child, so somebody has to.
Yeah, this is it's definitely something that we have to pay attention to, and we definitely have to pay attention not just to our little girls, but to our little boys as well. And predators come in all sexes, folks. Stop thinking it's just men, because it isn't. There's a lot of women out here that are predators. And they're predators just like men are. They go for little children. They intimidate them. They make them feel less than. They all the things that a male predator will do, a female will do as well.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And they do exist. Okay, they do. I worked in criminal probation. They do exist. And it's not a little bit either. It's not a smidgen. It's not a teaspoon. If there's a tablespoon of men doing it, it's a tablespoon of women doing it. We just don't talk about it. We just don't talk about it. So it says status of
The statute of limitations may not have expired on these sexual assaults. He was asking a few questions back. Have any of the men that have ever been sexually assaulted filed charges? And that's why he's saying the statute of limitations might not have expired.
I know of a few guys that have filed charges. I didn't follow up with it because I don't. I'm more so worried about the mind states of who they are now. So I stay in tune with them, but I try not to delve too far into those details because I decided my route was different. The person who assaulted me, I actually see her. I know who she is. She's my cousin's mother. So like I chose to not file charges. I chose to just disassociate. And let that past and that trauma live where it was. And it doesn't I feel like I'd empower it if I acknowledge it now. I'm over it. I'm past it. It doesn't control me anymore.
You feel from it.
Right. I'm over it. So that's a personal journey that they have to go through. So I try not to delve too far into that. But I haven't heard about anybody actually being arrested or anything. But I do know that several guys that was part of our group have filed charges.
And I applaud them because it's it's difficult. It's difficult for a woman, and it's just as difficult for a man to file these charges. Women for years have been looked at as, especially when they go into a police station and say that they were raped. And Lord, don't let you be a wife and be raped by your husband,
Mm.
because that can happen, folks, and it does
And they
happen.
say it's not rape. They say it a lot. That's not rape. That's your husband. No,
It's
it's still
it's still rape.
sexual assault.
Hmm. So
No means no, regardless of who the person is.
and maybe we'll have another segment on this and have a part deux, so that we can delve a little more into it, because um it's important, and we need to make a safe space and make a place for people to be able to, especially men and women, to feel comfortable and talk about their trauma, because it's very real. And um if you can, if you're able, press charges, because
Hmm.
in my case, in one of my cases, I did not press charges, and the person that raped me went on to rape someone else. I did meet her, and she did press charges, and he went to jail. So if you are able to, it's not a it's a tedious process, but it's a process that possibly can save somebody else from, because a lot of these people, I don't think everybody's heard me. I have called these women exactly what they are. I have called the men exactly what they are. They're predators. So if they do it once, they'll do it again.
Yep.
I agree.
But you have to do what you can do for yourself. And if you're in that situation, tell somebody and get away from it as fast as you can. As fast as you can. So, Mr. Hood I love you. I
Love
love
you too.
I love
I love you, Bookie.
Uh, you already know. Hercules. We're family. Love you.
We are.
Can't wait to have you again for our wonderful, oh gosh, you guys, we've already released the sponsor packets for the Ebony Erotic Experience, the Day of the Dead, your erotic rebirth. That's the name of the next event, November 1st and 2nd. It will be held here in Cleveland, Ohio. Tickets go on sale June 15th. So you'll be able to get your tickets. We'll be able to announce all of that. So we'll be able to tell you where to get your tickets. We're working on that part. We may or may not be on Eventbrite. So we'll let you guys know that for sure. To get your tickets. But it is open to 50 people only. So you
Mm.
don't be oh, I got it. Da, 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 da. We will have an early bird special, but it will end, and we will continue to have a great time and have as many people sign up for it as we possibly can. But we are looking forward to it. We're going to have Mr. Hood Raised in the house again hosting. Yay!
I feel special.
He's going to come host. He did such a great job. And you got to bring my girl with you again.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan.
And we're going to have some fun. So tell everybody how they can reach you.
I am Hood Ray. Well, Ali is my name. Hood Rays is my stage name. You can find me Hood Rays Poetry everywhere. No crazy spelling. HOODRAISED. Hood Raised Poetry everywhere. I'm a three-time published author. I'm a five-time award-winning spoken word artist and host. When it comes to this art, I believe in putting the art over the ego. So whatever's needed, whenever I'm needed, I try my best to show up.
I
And he does show
appreciate you.
and he shows out. Okay.
Shows up and shows out. Ladies that missed EEE, the floor was wet. When I told y'all the floor was going to be wet, the floor was wet.
We had 3 of the top erotic poets. 4. Actually, we have 4. Because my girl laid it down. Okay.
She represented for the ladies.
She shocked the hell out of me. She really did. She was so damn good. I'm like, what the? She was holding out. I mean, you can tell her I said that too. She was holding out. So make sure you get your tickets. Be in the house. You don't want to miss anything. We're going to have a good time. And to all of our comments, we thank you guys so much. We can't wait to do this again next Monday night. Okay, we're going to be right back here.
Love y'all. Thanks for showing out.
Cannot wait to do it again. Next Monday night, we'll be on the air 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, 8:30 Central, 6:30 for our folks out on the West Coast, and for our family in Barbados, we are on the same time Eastern Standard right now, so 9:30 p.m. So make sure you come back and stick and stay and join us for another Juicy Tales Erotic Chat, some more adult conversation for myself and Miss Beautiful Purple Rain and our special featured guest tonight, Mr. Hood Rays. Remember, enjoy, enlighten, and embrace eroticism. We're out for the night. Yeah.
Night.
Love y'all. Good night.
Peace.
My Instagram.